Hello everybody, it's Tommy and welcome back to another Creative Sim for the Disney Save. Today we have Sally and Dr. Finkelstein to go along with the previous speed build I did of Dr. Finkelstein's lab. Make sure you check that out first if you haven't seen it. And let's get into today's two new characters. Sally, starting out here, Sally Finkelstein is going to be her last name. Her aspiration is going to be Lady of the Knits, kind of plays into her character, and it's an aspiration we don't use very often for the save file. Her traits are romantic, loner, and good. She is a vampire alongside Jack, but she is a little bit different. She doesn't have a dark form. Thought it would be fun to do something a little bit unusual, and also she doesn't really have a different form that she changes into. She really just looks one way throughout the entire film, so she only needs the one look. Sally is a sweet and silent sim. She lurks in the background of town gatherings, has almost no friends, and doesn't really seem to mind either way. She's not very lonely for being a loner, but she does have a crush on the Pumpkin King, Jack Skellington. Sally is softer and more delicate than most of the creatures in Halloween Town. Maybe because she was created instead of born, she just acts so much different than the rest of the townsfolk. She is kind, giving, and intelligent. She sometimes leaves gifts at Jack's door as a way of letting him know how she feels without having to say much. If Sims spoke to Sally, they would see how kind and gentle she is, but she keeps to herself so much that others rarely get the chance. Her hobbies include things such as knitting, sewing, gardening, flower arranging, those kinds of things. Gave her a little bit more skills and more ambitions than is really shown in the film. Honestly, in the film, she's pretty much just focused on Jack and maybe escaping Dr. Finkelstein. That's definitely like a storyline you could play for her character. We got really lucky with the addition of the werewolves pack. I believe that's the pack that added these really great stitched facial scars. We don't have any for the rest of the sim body, so I ended up giving her some scars and some various tears and things like that on the rest of her body, but for her face specifically, having that stitched look is really, really important. It helps make her look so much like herself. It was during this Creative Sim process that I realized Sally does not have eyebrows. I don't know how I've never noticed that in all the times that I've watched Nightmare Before Christmas. She also, in the film, I want to mention, is just a lot darker looking in general. The whole film has this like muted color palette, and so anything that is, other than I would say like oranges and bright yellows, like the more Halloween colors, a lot of the characters, they have color palettes, but they're muted. So in the film, to me, she looks more like variations of brown and grays and greens, but the way that they portray her in costumes and ornaments and things like that, they really play into her colors. So I decided to lean into that a lot more so that she looks more recognizable, including doing the blue skin, the bright red hair, the stitching, and then her patchwork dress, which we didn't have a ton of options for in the cast catalog, but one that we do have that actually has patches is the cats and dogs dress. So I went for it. It's a little bit different than the one that she wears, but it's the only one we have that has that patchy style to it. It's as close as we are going to get without any custom content. It was also during this process that I learned that Sally has red fingernails. I tried to give her fingernails because I wanted to make her nails look very long and almost make her fingers look more elegant and pointed. Give her kind of that puppet slash skeleton Finkelstein look that she has going on. And then I realized from reference photos she does wear red nail polish. I'm really excited with how she turned out. I think she's so pretty and unique, and it's nice to have another female vampire added to the save file. Now we have Dr. Finkelstein. I'm calling him Dr. W. Finkelstein by William, the W being William, which I believe is the name of the person that voiced him. His aspiration is vampire family, which means he's interested in creating as many vampires as possible. He's not going to be in a cult, but I think that's kind of fun. It plays into that monster creation aspect that his character very much is. His traits are genius, lazy, and paranoid. He will be in the scientist career, so you're able to play through that get to work career with this character. Maybe do like the mad scientist aspect for him. Dr. Finkelstein has an interest in creating obedient creatures that will serve him. Although he's a scientist, he's sort of a lazy one. He doesn't like cooking, cleaning, or taking care of any of his personal needs. He wants someone to completely take care of him so he can focus on science and creating. Finkelstein is mad in terms of his creations. He is an unethical mastermind, basically creating makeshift monster slaves in his attic. The townfolk love him for his ability to make things, but his latest creation, Sally, would do anything to get away from the doctor. He enjoys things such as creating, studying, experimenting, lab work, and science-related activities, and not much else. The really cool god goggles that I was able to find for him are again a part of that like unlockable section of the cast catalog. I have a couple Sims that I just pop in real quick that already have everything unlocked so that I can use some of those more obscure items, and I'm really glad I found those because I think it totally makes the character, along with this like faux suit that he's got going on. It was one of the base game items that I believe comes from the same section of cast, like that unlockable section. Sally's kind of like his creation. There was some debate over whether or not he's like a father figure to her. I guess like he sort of is. Some people take it more romantically. I'm not really sure which way it's actually supposed to be portrayed. All I know is Sally doesn't want anything to do with him, so I'm definitely going to make their family dynamic a little bit difficult. And that's going to be the two characters for today. The next build we have is a community lot for Moonwood Mill, and we will be more than halfway through the world at that point. If you'd like to support the Disney Save on Patreon, you can do so by clicking the link in my description box down below or the one at the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching today, and I will talk to you all in the next one.